and welcome here to more TALKFCB, and welcome once again to more talk about the Barça presidential election, which of course is coming on Sunday. It is very nearly here now, the moment that of course we've all been waiting for such a long time. This is a crucial day in the history of our club, and that's why here I wanted to bring you some of the biggest quotes from the final debate that was aired live tonight on TV3. So get ready and let's do this. But first of all, I just want to confirm a few details indeed ahead of Sunday, because of course this time around, for the first time in the club's history, in terms of a presidential election, postal voting is indeed permitted due to of course the COVID pandemic that is still ongoing. Now, a total of 20,663 votes were indeed delivered to Barcelona on Friday, which there is 90.6% of the members who requested to cast their vote via a postal vote. So 90% of those postal votes coming in, and they will indeed be counted and verified by the club. And what this means is that now 87,749 remaining eligible voters are now able to vote in person this coming Sunday at one of the 6 territorial voting stations. And just to give you here a benchmark figure on exactly how many voters we are expecting to come out and cast their vote in this election, the 2015 election saw a total there of 47,270 members cast their votes, and the highest turnout for an election actually came back in 2010 with 57,088 socios voting on the day. But in terms of the debate, which did indeed air live on TV3 this evening, first of all, each of the candidates started out with an opening statement. Victor Font came out, he said, "I am addressing the 35,000 members who've not yet decided who to vote for. They are the most important in the contemporary history of the club." And on Monday, another president was arrested. He said, "Barca fans are fed up that we have to go through this. We are the change. And this change will see us win cups, win leagues, and win Champions Leagues. I've got no doubt." Toni Freixa said Barca is the best club in the world. It's great. It always has been. It's true that we've lost the model on the sporting side. We've increased salary mass, but Barca has immense potential and we have solutions. He said the image should not be so bad. In our candidacy, we've achieved an offer of 60 million euros per jersey for 5 seasons, or 250 million to invest in Barca corporate. He said we are a candidate that has provided solutions to the romanticism that hides the things that have been done wrong. Laporta was upbeat in his statement. He said, "I see the glass as half full." He said, "This is reversible." He said, "I propose that Barca will once again be economically sustainable." He said, "We must flee from the catastrophic messages." He said, "With our experience, we will lead Barca back to glory. It will be important to get the sporting project right, and it's important for me to bring joy back to Barcelona fans." And in terms of their projects themselves, Laporta kicked off. He said, "This season we want to give maximum motivation and strength behind Ronald Koeman and his players." He said, "I will talk with them and encourage them that everything is possible. We don't want any transitions." He said, "We want Messi to continue. We will make a competitive sporting proposal and we will see that he wins leagues and Champions Leagues." He said, "Remember with me, Madrid did not win a single Champions League title." And he said another example was that I was in love as a player with Samuel Eto'o. He said we stole the signing from Madrid themselves. He said it was our answer to Luis Figo. But he said in the end, when he left, when we sold him, I listened to the professionals. I listened to those around me who understood the sporting side of things. That's my legacy. Font said, as said by Johan Cruyff himself, sporting decisions must be made by those who understand football. He said, "We've created a structure for this club by choosing the style of the play, dedicating years to find who can assume the responsibilities, and thirdly, who will make those decisions." Font again said, "Our bet is Xavi at the head of the team and Jordi Cruyff as the technical secretary." He said, "We will also create women's teams for the 2022-23 season in every sport." He said, "We have all of the planning for next season to remain competitive." Freixa said the most important part to remember is that Barca is a sports club. In recent years, we've mistaken the sports model. We have not believed in our identity. There are 2 areas, methodology and recruitment. Not just any player, no matter how good they may be, is of use to us. at Barça. And I think in general, guys, just to sort of interrupt here, just to give you a little bit of background on the way the debate went, I think it was very, very tense today. I felt as though all the candidates thought, this is my final chance here to speak to the members, to directly communicate exactly what my plans are. And I think in the end, actually, it got pretty heated. There was arguments, actually, between each and every one of the candidates. There was Font and Laporta still going at it, those two. Freixa was involved as well, things going every single way. And I think in the end, we sort of diverted away from the actual plans and got into a little bit more heated arguments. But certainly there, as we continue here, again on the subject of Lionel Messi, because Victor Font said planning and a sports project is what Messi wants. Xavi Hernandez will manage it on a professional basis, not cronyism. Laporta said, though, Messi wants to stay, but you have to get him to stay. He said with either of the other two candidates, it's going to be more difficult to do that. He said Leo, above all, wants to know that he is loved, and Leo knows that I treat the players that way. He's worked with me before. Freixa, the man who was happy to see Messi leave in the summer just gone by because he felt as though Messi had disrespected the club, let's not forget. He said, though, we have to find a point so that Messi and Barça remain linked. Messi is in our plan for next season. We also want to bring in 2 additional players, one in attack and one in defence. And we also bet on Koeman. Font then was indeed starting to take some shots at Joan Laporta. He said, I am surprised that the other candidates dedicate themselves to despising and criticisms. He said the socios know that we're in a very difficult situation and they must know that we have a plan. He said the experience of 2003 does not work now. He said we're fed up with the lack of transparency. We have a plan and the experience and the knowledge that are needed in 2021. He said the partners deserve to know who will make the decision in the sports project. We've explained it all and we have everything ready to start working on March 8th. And in terms of experience, Laporta has come out and said the following. He said, I was lucky enough to be the president of Barça at the best time in the club's history. He said it's quite recent. Everybody remembers it. He said, and that's good because it keeps Barca's history alive. He said, we were respected. We had specific weight in the world of football. He said, we had a definite style of running a club. In addition to the titles, we leave a legacy and a style. We were a club loved by the footballing world because we had social and sporting commitment. Then came some more jousting because it was asked there whether each of the candidates, if they did lose the elections, would you then help out the new president? Toni Freixa, he said, it's just what I did in the last elections. He said, I didn't get in the way, but I did try to help. And then Laporta chipped in. He said, well, you didn't do it very well because, of course, let's not forget, and we cannot forget this, Toni Freixa worked under Sandra Assay and Bartomeu. Both of them. He was working under them both. He cannot be the president. I've said it before. He cannot be the president. Victor Font then, looking at Laporta, he said, of course, I will ask, but he said, I'll also take the opportunity to ask for your help when we win. He said, I appreciate your experience. It's important. Laporta came back. He said, well, don't thank me so much. He said, vote for me instead. And like I say, as the debate went on and on, as the time was running out, in the campaigns for all 3 of these men, it did start to get there a little bit heated, which was amusing. It was pretty funny to see them going at it like that, but it wasn't really helpful there in terms of the voter. I want to draw your attention here, just before we finish, to 2 quotes in particular from Joan Laporta, who did an interview earlier on today with Sport, and I just want to bring you 2 of the things that he said which really did stand out to me, because one of them, he was asked there, in terms of Xavi and Jordi Cruyff, are they yours or are they Victor Font's in this election? Laporta said, I have a good friendship with both of them, and I have done for a while. He said, but you have to ask them, and you'd also have to ask those that say they have them on board. He said, I've seen a lot of hastiness due to inexperience. I've followed everything that's happened, and there are things that don't make sense to me. I have a lot of respect for both of these men. They want to come back to the club. I don't know if it's the right moment, but if they want to come back, they will. And the other was interesting as well, talking there about the management right now in terms of the finances. We all know that Barca are in a difficult moment. Laporta was asked whether he'll ask the players to make more cuts to their wages. Laporta said some have already accepted deferrals. He said in 2003, I had to have an important meeting with the captains to explain the situation. He said, I hope that's not the case this time. He said, I want to work on the line on bringing in new revenue and optimising what we already have. He said, we'll work on on more sponsors. That's actually where I'm going to ask for help from the players. He said, because the club right now, they have 29 categories of sponsors. He said, Juve, for example, Juventus, they got 40. He said, we should have at least 35 of those. That's what we'll work on. And I think right now, guys, the time has come indeed to finally get this election underway, to finally find out who is going to be leading our club into the future. And I've got to admit right now, I'm quite nervous. I am nervous looking ahead to this election because what I want is the right result. I want the right man, the right leader to be in charge of this club because we've waited so long. We have seen mismanagement year after year after year. We know that can't go on. We can't afford for that to go on. Change is needed now. The right change is even more important. And of course, heading into the weekend, which is a massive weekend for this club, I'm going to keep you guys updated throughout. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts down below and your preference in terms of the candidates. I'll see you soon. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.